Welcome to tape 3 of the 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Highly effective people do not really manage time. They manage self. Instead of reacting to the urgent and being caught up in the thick of thin things, effective people plan and execute according to their deepest priorities, as Stephen explains in Habit 3, entitled, Put First Things First.
Habit 3 is the time management habit of putting first things first. Habit 3 is taking habit 2 and making it happen. It's organizing and executing around your priorities. Habit 2 is those priorities. Habit 3 is doing it. Habit 3 is the discipline. Habit 3 is the temporal or the physical creation. Habit 2 is the mental creation or the spiritual creation. All things are created twice. Therefore, I suggest that you immediately begin a process that takes time to develop and write on paper and into your mind and heart your personal mission statement, your value system, and do it with your spouse for your marriage, and do it with your entire family for your family, and do it with your work group and your department and your division and the company, as much as you can possibly do as far as your influence goes. That's habit 2. Then organize everything else around it and carry it out, even if it means you say no to other things that people think are popular with them. Because what you're really doing is saying yes to what is most important. Look at a diagram we could call a time management matrix that is made up of 4 different quadrants. You'll notice that quadrant 1 is made up of things that are important and also urgent. Now let's define these terms. Important means it attaches to habit 2. Your mission, your roles and goals. That's what's important. It's habit 2. You've decided what's important. You've decided the wall to lean your ladder against. You've decided the direction. That's important. Now what's urgent? Urgent is that which is pressing upon you, that which gives a sense of urgency. You must act upon it, like a ringing phone. That phone that's ringing may just be a total waste of your time. It's not attached to your mission, your roles or goals at all. But it wants to be answered. And you could get easily sidetracked and go into management of the wrong things in the right way. Quadrant 1 is important and also urgent. We usually call those problems, crises, and they need to be attended to, or you don't survive. Or if you've got an important meeting come up, that would be quadrant 1. Because if you don't attend that meeting, you're going to have a major problem. What's quadrant 2? It's important, but not urgent. That means it attaches to your mission, your roles and goals, but there isn't a sense of now about it. What's quadrant 3? It's urgent, but not important. It's pressing, it's proximate, it's in front of you, it's that ringing phone, it's that unanswered mail. It's all of those other distracting things that are important to other people, maybe, but they don't really attach to your overall mission or the organization's overall mission. What's quadrant 4? It's a combination of being not urgent and not important. A lot of time wasting, pleasant things, extensive Monday morning quarterbacking, extensive television, unnecessary meetings, unprepared meetings, interruptions that can just consume the entire day, where you're very busy all day long and at the end of the day feel like I accomplished nothing. Now what I'd like to ask you to do, if you would, is to think of one activity in your life, one activity that if you did superbly well and consistently, that you absolutely are convinced it would produce marvelous results, the kinds of results you desire. Think of one activity. Think of one in your personal life, and then think of one in your work life, your public life, okay? Now just think for a moment. For instance, someone might say, if I were to spend deeper one-on-one time with my key associates at work and with my loved ones at home, I'm convinced that those kinds of deposits would make a big difference on the kinds of results I want. All right. Now, what quadrant is the thing you wrote in? There's only one quadrant. It's 2. It's 2. Notice the question. One activity, you know, if you did it superbly well and consistently, that it would have marvelous results. Already you've said it's important, and you're also saying it's not urgent, or you'd be doing it. See, you do it superbly well and consistently. It's in quadrant 2. Where is PC, my friends? Where's PC? It's 2. Where's prevention? 2. Where are problems and crises? 1. Where's production? P. 1. PC, 2. Where's opportunities? 2. You will find as we go through these 7 habits, every one of them is in Quadrant 2. Quadrant 2 is the entire key to management. You're working on the high leverage activities. Pareto, the great Italian philosopher in the field of efficiency, came up with what's called the 80-20 rule. 80% of the results flow from 20% of the activities. Those are all Quadrant 2 activities. All of them. What do you think happens to Quadrant 1 if you neglect Quadrant 2? If you neglect prevention, what's going to happen to problems? It's going to grow and grow until there's almost no other quadrants. It may consume your life. That's called management by crisis. And management by crisis just beats you up, burns you out, fatigues you, gets very, very large. What's going to happen to Quadrant 1 if you attend to Quadrant 2? Get smaller and smaller. You'll still have some of it. Things you hadn't anticipated at all. Constant changes in our environment will create some of that. But it'll be manageable. It'll be workable. But you'll always have the sense that you're working on prevention and seizing new opportunities. Now, where are you going to get the time and attention to get into Quadrant 2? You can't get it from Quadrant 1. If you take it from there, you'll die. You're fighting off the alligators with your shovel. Where are you going to get the time and attention to start digging the canal, to drain the swamp, so the alligators will go? That has to come from 3 and 4. Quadrant 4 is totally worthless quadrant. Can you name one thing of any value or worth in Quadrant 4? Leisure. Is leisure important? Yes. Then it's Quadrant 2. There's nothing of worth or value in Quadrant 4. Quadrant 3 also is essentially without value except on the part of other people. So basically you get your time for Quadrant 2 from 3 and 4. The whole time you're knocking those alligators out, the moment there you have a few seconds of break, you start throwing one shovel of dirt into another direction so you can get that canal built. Just keep doing it. Just keep stealing a little from Quadrant 3 and Quadrant 4. Learn to say no, pleasantly, smilingly, happily, but say no. Because in saying no to Quadrants 3 and 4, you're saying yes to Quadrant 2. And when you say yes to Quadrant 2, you make Quadrant 1 increasingly small. And you're working on things that will matter most, not on things which matter least. Things which matter most, Goethe wrote, must never be at the mercy of things which matter least. However, the problem is it takes certain capacities to work on Quadrant 2. What's the fundamental capacity? We've already talked about it. What is it? Proactive. You have to be proactive. Why? Quadrant 1 acts on you. Quadrant 2 must be acted upon. We are made in our essential humanity to act and not be acted upon. That's Quadrant 2. All deep relationship building, Quadrant 2. Planning and organizing, Quadrant 2. Personal preparation, Quadrant 2. Exercise, Quadrant 2. Reading, broad, deep reading, continual education, Quadrant 2. Quadrant 2 is the key. Most time management programs will teach you a checklist approach toward day-to-day planning, and you'll be essentially doing not much more than reorganizing today's crises. You have to have a longer view, at least a week, and that on the basis of even a huge view of a month, a quarter, semi-annual, annual, long-term, the 3 years, let's say, before you attend your own funeral. So the key is to think through Habit 2, your mission, what you are about. Habit 3, to organize your life around those priorities and those values and to live by them. Again, let me summarize 2 and 3 together. Habit 2 is your mission with your roles and goals. Habit 3 is your scheduling around those roles and goals and mission and disciplining yourself to execute accordingly. Now, your time tool is your servant, not your master. People are always more important than things. So many times you will just simply subordinate your tool, your schedule, to a higher need. You don't think of people in efficiency terms. I had a son who was into that for a period of time, a heavy efficiency on everything, and he had for his checklist that day to pick up some books, to wash his car, to drop Margaret, to get his schedule organized, and so forth. Problem is, they were all things except for Margaret. But they'd been going for a long period of time, and he'd finally come to the conclusion it's not going to work out. So, congruent with his efficiency model, called up on the phone, scheduled about 10 minutes for the visit, and dropped her, which was very traumatic and upsetting to her, and involved a great deal more, but he was into efficiency. You don't think efficiency with people. You think efficiency with things. You manage things and lead people. So sometimes you have to bag your schedule for higher values. But if you've got habit 2 deep inside your heart and mind, you've got those higher values driving you. So if other things come up that seemingly upset the schedule, so what? The schedule is not important. What's important is your value system and your integrity toward it. So you'll immediately adapt. You're flexible. You're not hung up and guilt-tripped by changing a schedule or by not meeting some schedule. I've seen many parents, particularly mothers with small children, have a lot of hopes and desires to accomplish so many things, but all they did is meet needs of little children. And they've often been frustrated. Why? Frustration is a function of our expectations, our schedules, our expected pattern, not of our realizations. But if people are deep into mission and values, they can subordinate that schedule to the value and to the mission. And if that mother has a lot of little children around her, preschoolers, she can totally feel comfortable in accomplishing nothing but meeting needs and giving love and providing.